面对这一情况，苏联军队迅速决定放弃被动地位，主动采取防御。在东欧，苏联的坦克和军队被部署到战时位置，核导弹也准备就绪。
All the aircrews were stationed right by their planes. The command came, all pilots into your cockpits, start your engines, and then we waited, either to take off or to remain in the cockpit. It was very tense, waiting for that command. Your nerves are jangling.
在波罗的海，庞大的北方舰队同样也为即将到来的攻击做好了准备。
Our big ships, the cruisers, sailed right in close towards the cliffs, of which there were many. Because to distinguish a grey ship against a background of cliffs is extremely difficult.
在北极圈的边缘，大量核潜艇架潜至冰层之下。如果核战真正发生，核潜艇装备的洲际弹道导弹将起到决定性的作用。
It is almost impossible to find a submarine under the ice. We waited by our hull, making sure we could receive every signal, so that the time needed to make a counterstrike is as short as possible.
在苏联领导人眼中，这些重要的防御措施是绝对必要的。
On the military side, there might have been quite several dozen senior officers who believed in it. That's why they had that weight behind them to persuade the Central Committee and then the KGB, Andropov, that it was a realistic idea.
苏联一直等待着，因为他们知道美国需要总统本人的允许才能发射核武器。在原本的神箭手演习计划中，里根会发出指令，但在最后一刻，麦克法兰无声无息地改变了计划。
Anytime we conduct an operation like that, it's watched carefully by the Soviet Union. And if you go to the point of having the principals, the decision makers actually involved, the question's raised, is this an exercise or are we not facing a possible attack? The president came around to my view that however misguided Soviet perceptions were, we shouldn't even add any possibility of their raising the stakes, and he withdrew.
立即进行核反击的计划被军事援助代替。可是11月8日晚，批准使用核武器的信号却仍然被传回。对苏联来说，最后一片拼图到位了。
It was a very serious problem. Suddenly it seemed as if the Americans were just about to launch a surprise nuclear attack.
克留奇科夫早前就警告说，在7至10天后可能将有核袭击。现在情况看来，他的预测是准确的。当晚，奥列格·格里夫斯基收到一则来自莫斯科的不寻常的电报。
When it was a flash telegram, it was a super urgent telegram, which is now a critical situation. The Americans exercise may be preparation to a sudden nuclear attack. Watch the signs and report immediately to us about anything unusual. How can we take such a task seriously?
克格勃将特快电报发到世界各地的情报站，也提醒了在北约内部的间谍。
The courier at first brought me the message. High alert, the Russians are really scared, they want to know everything, NATO is preparing for war. I was really upset. I was thinking, where is this leading?
雷纳鲁普用藏在计算机里的特殊装置向克格勃发出大规模袭击的警报。
I would write my message down, I would code it, And this little machine would then condense all this into a very short sound, like a... With that, I would go to a normal telephone.
Did you send a message during Able Archer?
Yeah.
What did it say?
There was no indication that NATO was preparing for war at that time. I'm talking about NATO, I'm not talking about the United States, because they're always two quite different things.
中情局观察到苏联的这些军事准备，却并没在意。他们拍下东德跑道旁的核导弹，东欧的军队和坦克已经处在战备位置，苏联潜艇藏在北极的冰下，但是他们看不到这背后苏联的紧张和疑虑。神箭手演习进行到最后环节，北约军队获得使用核武器的许可，核武指挥官静静等待着按下按钮的指令。
By the time the exercise came to its fruition, it would have gone nuclear, and there's a kind of wave of rising interest and enthusiasm. When it had gone critical, we were asking for nuclear release, bang, and then we can all go home.
他们没有意识到，那天是苏联的一个非常特别的日子。
In November 1983, I was a captain serving in the Strategic Missile Force. Our commanders always told us that war would begin on the eve of some holiday, when people were out celebrating, when people were relaxed.
1983年11月7日是苏联10月革命纪念日，从那天起将有好几日的庆祝活动。苏联领导人认为，这是苏联警惕心最薄弱的时候。
We expected that at precisely that moment, the Americans might unleash the Third World War. When we reached the command bunker that night, we received a special order. We were told to immediately go to raised combat alert. It was so serious, there was a third man there with us to maintain uninterrupted communications.
美国的卫星在苏联上空持续监测，而此时300多颗准备进行反击的洲际导弹已经准备就绪。
The strategic nuclear forces secretly, I emphasize that it was secretly, went up to increased combat readiness. This fact was not communicated to the rest of the armed forces.
Under my command were 10 intercontinental ballistic missiles. On each missile there were 10 warheads. Each of these was aimed at a particular city, like Washington, New York, Philadelphia, and so on. The targeting was very, very precise. The devastation would have been total.
每个导弹都相当于150克广岛原子弹的威力。西方不知道的是，不只是固定发射井的核导弹，75个 SS-20 机动导弹也已准备完毕。
Back then, spy satellites were not powerful enough to pinpoint their locations once they were in place, and SS-20s had all sorts of camouflaging devices, so they could not be spotted by visual or radio reconnaissance.
控制这一秘密升级的是陆军参谋长奥加尔科夫。当晚，他来到中央控制室，在神箭手演习的背景下，氛围十分凝重。